Good morning, Dingoos. I hope everybody's having a fantastic morning today. We're going to be discussing Bitcoin's price action, Ethereum's all-time high, Ethereum, some Ethereum data points, Ethereum Bitcoin ratio, some Mark Cuban news kind of, and then at the very end we're going to discuss our goals, because we all probably have similar goals of financial freedom, and we're going to discuss how that's possible and what to look for, right? And so make sure you stay tuned until the end. And first off, before we get started here, if you find value in this content and enjoy this content, please leave a like and subscribe. If you want to chit chat, we got the Discord and Telegram links in the bio on there all the time. You can chit chat to me anytime. I try to answer everybody in those. So let's just jump right in here. Bitcoin in a bull flag, continuing the bull flag. I would like to see consolidations for a couple more weeks. That would be awesome, because then we can have a longer altcoin season, and I love altcoin season. But one thing I want to bring up quickly is, if we look back at Bitcoin's all-time high moves, we hit almost all-time highs. 20K was the previous all-time high, basically, and we hit that, and then we got pushed down. And then in late November, we actually crossed all-time highs on some exchanges for Bitcoin, and then we got broke back down, and some people were saying, oh, we broke all-time highs, other people saying we haven't yet, and then we broke back down, and then we broke all-time highs convincingly 16 days later. And what does this remind you of? Ethereum is doing the exact same thing right now. We do have a lot of volume, but also I would not be surprised for us to break back down, and in 16 days we more convincingly break out upwards, right? So that would be awesome. I would love to see that, and I think that's very possible. Now, some motivation for your morning and some perspective and some David Goggins. If you know who David Goggins is, he's a badass ex-Navy SEAL, runs 75 miles a day basically, and he just wants to have an open mind and try to have delayed gratification and delayed satisfaction, because that's where true happiness and enjoyment of life comes from, right? And I think financial freedom has a lot to do with being able to control your impulsive desires. So let's listen in. It's like 30 seconds.
Big thing is, once again, it goes back to open-mindedness. If you walk into any kind of event, whether it be physical or mental, if you walk in with already putting that block on your mind of, man, this ain't gonna happen. People go, how did you run 135 miles to Death Valley? And so, how did you run 100 miles with no training? Because I went into it not thinking, I can't do this, man. I went into it with a strategy. I had an open-mindedness. So until your mind is open to the possibilities that I can do this, you would never be able to do it. Once the mind starts to believe it can be achieved, only then does it start to break down tactically how we can do this. Until then, you're going to always lose.
Open-mindedness and delayed gratification. And financial freedom is all about delayed gratification and satisfaction and fighting impulsive desires, because obviously, you have to live under your means if you want financial freedom, and that's what we all desire to an extent. And living under your means for an extended period of time you might be able to splurge on some things, right? So, that's something to carry into crypto as well, because you want to fight those short-term impulses to maybe ape it into an altcoin, right? And find those coins and tokens and protocols that you think and believe in long term, and hold them for an extended period of time, and delay that gratification of short-term gains, right? And believe in it. And that's where the true wealth comes from, right? So let's go into Lark Davis saying we can confirm this is the ETH Bitcoin ratio pair, and ETH just broke out of this long-term descending triangle from 2017, guys. Imagine if we saw 0.1 on the ETH Bitcoin ratio. That would be insane, guys. That would be awesome. So that would equal Ethereum around $3,000, $3,500 if Bitcoin stays around the same price. So that would be awesome, guys. Let's talk about the flippening real quick. So I do believe the flippening of Ethereum's market cap and Bitcoin's market cap is inevitable, because I think Ethereum's use case and utility is more than Bitcoin's. And Ethereum is basically a bond, and the bond market is a lot bigger than, say, the collateral slash national treasury slash wealth preservation market and inflation hedge market. And I think Ethereum has a bigger potential market than Bitcoin does. I mean, that's just my perspective. Comment below if you think differently and we can discuss, but that's just my perspective. So let's go. And ETH would have to be around $6,000 a token right now if we would flip Bitcoin's market cap. So let's go into the cyclical nature of the crypto sector once again. So money goes into Bitcoin, rotate into gains in Ethereum, and then which rotates into alts, and alts have seasons as well. DeFi pumps, and then Polkadot ecosystem pumps, and then other like say NFTs pump, and then XDAI ecosystem pumps, and then all these different things pump. So there's cycles within cycles. You just got to keep that in perspective. And right now we just had a huge Polkadot pump. So what's next? I don't know. XDAI just pumped yesterday. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's just a everything type of pump season. But it's just crazy. While Bitcoin is stabilizing in a bullish trend, anything can pump at any time. Now let's look at DeFi Pulse real quick. One thing I want to point out is Bitcoin is moving upwards, the Bitcoin on the Ethereum network, right? Which right now it's at 37,000 Bitcoin are on the Ethereum network earning passive income, right? Or doing other things, using it as collateral X, Y, and Z. So now let's look at, is Bitcoin ready to reach 50K? Despite the drop in price, Bitcoin continued to hit all-time highs in other key metrics such as mining difficulty, hash rate, e-liquid supply, non-zero Bitcoin addresses, active addresses, and active entities. So there you go. I mean, Bitcoin hitting 50K is obviously inevitable at some point this year. Maybe it's in a month, maybe it's next week. Who knows? But it's inevitable. Every metric is showing bullishness. So that's what's going on. And now let's go into corporate game theory, because this is Ruffer investment firm. They just invested $750 million into Bitcoin in November, and they say, we are in the business of keeping clients safe, and we are nervously satisfied that Bitcoin has a small part to play in the pudding. And you can tell they're a UK investment firm because they say in the pudding. It's a small part to play in the pudding. I mean, no American would say that. Come on. I'm just playing. I'm just teasing. But they put $750 million, which is 2.5% of their portfolio, into Bitcoin, which is kind of crazy, but also smart. And I just want to say corporate game theory once again, because once the first domino moves, their competitors are forced to move or be left behind, right? So first mover advantage for Ruffer, however you want to pronounce it, investment firm. Now let's talk about more corporate game theory, because this is the Canadian ex-prime minister talks about Bitcoin becoming a possible treasury reserve asset. He says, ultimately, if you have a digital currency and the purpose of a central bank is to control inflation and create a stable currency and price stability, then digital currency is just kind of an evolution of the marketplace. And I mean, Bitcoin is definitely, once again, corporate game theory will play into national treasuries as well as municipalities and governors, state pension funds, and X, Y, and Z for those. So, I mean, I think you'll see that number of things that people use as reserve asset expands. So, the ex-prime minister of Canada is saying this. I mean, does that hold any merit? I don't know, but is it inevitable? Yes, it's just a matter of time, in my opinion. Because here's one reason why. Because inflation expectations in the U.S. continue their vertical ascent, now 2.12%, highest since May 2018, and another stimulus bill is coming out once Biden takes office, like $3-something trillion, and only $2,000 to every citizen, which, I mean, it is what it is. You can like it or hate it, whatever, doesn't matter. The point is, and one thing I do want to point out is like, this is not really a good representation of inflation on asset prices, because asset prices have inflated significantly more than 2%. I wonder what basket of goods, because inflation is subjective in terms of what basket of goods you use. And I wonder what they use, as well as their consumer price index they use, because those variables are subjective, and depending on what you use to calculate those variables, makes different inflation rates. So what I mean, the Federal Reserve uses really shitty variables to calculate consumer price index, which makes inflation always seem lower than it is. So therefore, they can have a lower interest rate and basically give out free money, continue to give out free money to these large corporations, and have them expand exponentially. So it's all rigged, and debt is an asset to some point. And now let's go to Mark Cuban, because I did miss this. I don't think people realize I try to test and use all this stuff, and have for years. I still have crypto from the early days of Coinbase. I've never sold anything. And he knows what Aave is. And Aave is obviously a DeFi protocol, one of the more popular ones. But DeFi is amazing and mind-blowing. That's why I love it so much, and why I'm so passionate about it, because it's so awesome. Move your money here, earn 35% APY. Move your money here. And everything is transparent, and you can... I mean, it's beautiful stuff, and Mark Cuban's into it because it's addicting, and it's beautiful, and it's interesting. And I want to be close behind to Mark Cuban, because obviously he is a forward-thinking and a very successful man. So if I can follow suit to what Mark Cuban is doing, I mean, that's a good thing. And I think a lot of smart people are doing exactly that with DeFi, is getting in, playing around with it, and learning about it, because it's beautiful stuff. Now let's quickly talk about all of our goals is financial freedom. So this man posted, bought my first ETH at $2, finally fully out of the game. And what I want to bring up with this is, there is essentially an Ethereum at $2, in the sense that it has the same amount of future growth potential. Right now, you just gotta find it and hold it, right? And one thing I do want to bring up, I'm not insurance DeFi. DeFi is where it's at in the future, I believe, especially if we get Ethereum gas prices down and we get multi-chain, like Polkadot gets a bridge to Ethereum, and maybe Cardano does as well, and XDAI, X, Y, and Z. And it's going to be a beautiful multi-chain ecosystem, and DeFi is going to be a essential player within all those. And I think the biggest player in DeFi will be Yearn and Cover, and all the Yearn ecosystem protocols working together to create a very awesome interface. And will it have the same future potential as Ethereum, or the future growth potential that Ethereum did at $2? Nobody knows for sure. Maybe it will go to 0. But I am holding. I love Yearn, and I love Cover, and I love a lot of I think Sushi is actually doing awesome stuff as well. So that's just my perspective. Also, one thing I do want to point out, 5 days left for this KSX competition is ChainX Kusama ChainX token. So ChainX is obviously, I made a video on it the other day, but they're having a parachain launch on Kusama here shortly, and they're doing a competition to give away Kusama ChainX tokens, and maybe they'd be worth something. So it doesn't make sense not to enter it. All you have to do is, there's a link in my bio if you want to use it, and there's a bunch of tasks to enter the competition, and then there you go. If you want to do it, you can do it. If not, you don't have to. It's completely up to you. You can win some Bitcoin and Kusama ChainX tokens. So that is all for today. But if you found any value in this video, please like and subscribe. And it's my birthday. I'm 23, so you can say happy birthday in the comments if you would like. If you're not, that's okay too. I love you still. And that is all for today. If you want to chit chat, Discord and Telegram, once again in my bio. But that is all for you guys today. So peace out, dingoes, and dingle dingle.